And today I want to talk about relationship change. Really, more than anything, I want to talk about when you change, your relationships change. Okay. Today I want to deep dive into this topic. As we ascend here into the 5D reality, it's really important to understand that the energy that you are upholding is also creating the way that your life shows up, but also the way that your relationship shows up. Okay. And this is all your relationships and even stranger interactions, all of it. The energy that you hold on to is the energy that's telling the universe how things should show up for you. And when you change your energy, literally everything changes. This is one of these concepts that is so exciting for me. I know personally, my relationships have changed dynamically, not only my relationships with my family, with my spouse, with my children, with friends, and even with strangers. The way that I can show up now with strangers is way, way, way so different than the way that I used to show up with strangers back before I really had my awakening. So today, I want to share some tips and some tools and some awarenesses so you can really deeply understand that the reason that your relationships are showing up the way that they are is, yes, it's in part of how other people are, but it has a lot to do with your own form and structure as well. And the thing is here, and one of the things that we're really experiencing right now in this reality is we're all ascending, okay? And I know that as empaths, as people who are energetically sensitive, we tend to get really caught in trying to figure out everybody else and trying to really like, well, if they were doing that, I wouldn't be doing this. And kind of we get caught up in that like blame and shame and kind of that like projection of who other people are being. And I get it, I get it in the big picture, but I also know that right now is the time that we start focusing inward. Okay, there's we're on this amazing journey of ascension, and the reality is the only person that can help you ascend is you. You are the only person in charge of your ascension. And what other people do or choose or be or create for their life truly really has nothing to do with you. And oftentimes when I say this to people, they'll say, oh, but it affects me because, all of these reasons why their choices affect me. And I get that. I totally do get that. But I also know that there is a place that you can exist in this reality where you are no longer the effect of what other people be, do, choose, and create. And before you tell me that I'm wrong, I really want to invite you into that space to understand that there is a space, and I know this space because I function in it at this point in my reality, where I understand that everything is choice and possibility. Okay. And it's our defined points of views and projections of what other people are doing and creating and how that affects us that truly creates the way the situation shows up. Now, I'm going to go back to I understand that I have no choice and power over what other people do, be, choose, and create. The only person I have power over is myself, right? But when I am in a space where I am not the effect of what someone else is doing, being, choosing, or creating in their own life, then I no longer am the effect of their choices. Okay. And I know that depending on where you're at and in your journey, I know that that can be a really hard thing to really see. But it's all only because you have a lot of connection points to what other people are doing, being, and choosing and creating, and what that means for you. And when you release those connection points and you understand that all of that stuff is just how we reference energy in our life, it really truly allows you to see that you really do have choice and possibility in your own life no matter what other people choose. And of course there's a lot of things that we implement within allowing ourselves to be different, and that includes boundaries, and that includes, instead of jumping in and rolling in the upset with other people, you say, I'm not going to choose that, do that, be that. This is my universe, I get to decide. I mean, there's a lot of different parts and pieces to this. It's not just change your energy and everything changes. It's about, I mean, yes, it is to some capacity about to change your energy and everything changes, but it's also really about understanding how you process energy and how to instill even strong boundaries for yourself to not be pulled into somebody else's energetic storm, because we are so energetically sensitive, you guys. And as we continue to ascend, if you are the effect of people's energies, it's going to continue to drag you down at this point. Okay, you have to find that balance now. Now is the time to go within and understand that if somebody is affecting me, if somebody is creating upset in my body, in my life, that means that there is something inside of me that needs to shift and change in order for me to be at the neutral zone and give them responsibility for their own actions. And when I give somebody else responsibility for their own actions, they actually have to look at their actions and decide if they want to continue to move forward with those actions or not. And when you function in that space, what you start to understand and what starts to untangle is most people don't want to be reactive in the way that they are either. Okay, just like you don't want to be reactive in situations like you are, just like you don't want to be certain people that you find yourself being around certain people, other people feel the exact same way that you do. Okay. And one of the greatest things that we've been perpetrating in this reality is we've been upholding all of these forms and structures for each other and perpetrating these toxic patterns on each other because neither one of us, whether it's you and somebody else or me and somebody else, because we weren't willing to let go of upholding the limitation instead of realizing that, hey, we just all got stuck in a whole bunch of limitation and it's gross and it feels yucky for all of us. And guess what? At this stage in the game of ascension, we have choice and power, and we really can change our energy. And when we start really making the demand that I don't want to be this person anymore, I don't want to choose this toxic pattern anymore, I don't want to uphold this form and structure that feels like crap inside my body any longer. When you start doing that for yourself, you don't get to do it for other people. When you start doing that for yourself, what happens is this magical dance of change starts to occur everywhere in life. And you find yourself in this magical journey where people are no longer being the people that they used to be in your life.